DeWittDailyNews.com.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. The DeWitt County Sheriff's Office assisted the Illinois State Police late Sunday night with the pursuit of a subject coming from McLean County through DeWitt County. Official details are unclear about what prompted the pursuit, but DeWitt County Sheriff Mike Walker told the Heart Media Group that the pursuit began in McLean County and came through DeWitt County down U.S. Highway 51 and then west onto US 54 before the sheriff's office terminated its assistance at the Logan County line. Details of how many subjects may have been in the vehicle and why they were fleeing were not available at the time of this story. Sheriff Walker says in addition to his office and the Illinois State Police, Leroy Police Department and Hayworth Police Department were also involved. This story will be updated if more details become available. The Monticello Police Department is sending a word of caution to residents after a couple of vehicle thefts in rural areas of Piatt County. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Monticello Police Chief Rob Bross told the Heart Media Group a couple of recent thefts of vehicles in rural Piatt County have him reminding residents to keep those vehicles locked.
Here, say about a week or so ago, had a couple stolen vehicles out in the county that were close enough to Monticello. So what we're trying to push out is pretty much just, we understand the holidays are hectic, but both stolen vehicles had the keys either in the vehicle or really close to the vehicle. We try to remind people, hey, we understand holidays are hectic, where we're thinking about gifts and family and travel and everything else, but really it's going back to the basics of making sure we lock our vehicles even when they're at home, taking everything out. I know we like to think that it's 1950s Mayberry and we can leave everything unlocked, but unfortunately, even if you're out in the county, if you have a nice country home, you really need to lock everything up. And that's just because we're seeing more and more people coming to the area, and they'll drive and they'll walk, they'll go up a long driveway just to see what's out there. So really reminding people, just make sure you stay safe, lock up everything, and keep the keys with you. That way, people just don't help themselves to your vehicle, and God forbid it happens at night, then you don't find out about it till the next morning.
With families set to gather from both near and far, Chief Bross reminds residents to lock those vehicles and have all valuables removed.
I mean, let's face it, we all get together, we put gifts in our car, we're getting ready to go out either that night or the next day. We tell people, over and over again, make sure, again, very simple thing, lock your vehicle. And then take everything out of sight that's valuable. Even loose change, wallets, GPS, cell phones, things like that. That way, people walk by, look in your car, don't see anything, they move on to the next one or they just leave. Knock on wood, we don't see people actually breaking into vehicles. When dispatch gets the call, usually they say, oh, someone broke into a vehicle. I can count on one hand over the last 2.5 years how many cars actually got broken into. Almost all of them have been unlocked cars. They just rummage through it. They take a look, see if there's anything easy, cash, credit cards, and then go to the next one. So definitely, increased foot traffic. It's going to be close to 60 degrees Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and I think through the early part of the weekend. So especially after the rush of the holidays, we kind of get that, relaxation time, for the weekend after. Definitely remember to lock everything up and get everything out of your vehicle.
When it comes to crime like vehicle burglary and other small crimes, Chief Bross indicates the SAFE-T Act is preventing law enforcement from getting repeat offenders off the streets.
The problem with the Safety Act is we do have quite a few repeat offenders. We had a local individual that was a suspect in a good majority of our thefts, and unfortunately, they weren't able to be detained. We had an individual that has been held due to a revocation of probation. He was a suspect in several thefts here in town. And oddly enough, now that he's being held for a little bit based on revoking that probation, our thefts have actually gone down with that individual. So, I mean, not that we like locking everyone up, and that's not always the answer, but sometimes that it needs to happen. And not just, for the punishment aspect of it, but that's a lot of victims out here. And it's not just one or two incidents, it's several over several weeks, months, and in this individual's case, a year.
Chief Bross also recommends having those home surveillance cameras working and connected to your Wi-Fi. They can be a valuable tool in the event of a crime on your property. When an individual is in a domestic violence relationship, it can be difficult for them to reach out for help, as abusers will often track their victims' communications. Andrea Coker is the Director of Services at Willow Tree Missions in Piatt County and indicates that their agency has taken great strides to give victims an opportunity to be discreet in their efforts to seek help.
So we've worked really hard here at Willow Tree to try and make our services accessible without letting abusers know what's going on, or at least allowing people kind of a cover-up story. So one thing we've done is in the last couple of years is we kind of integrated our phone system. So people can reach us by phone at 217-762-2350. When you call that phone number, it's the same phone number for both of our resale shops as well as services. That way, if someone is going through your phone bill or has access to your phone call histories and calls that you're making, it's a pretty easy cover up for the victim to say that they had seen something on our Facebook that they were calling about, or that they had called the downtown shop about what kinds of things they sell. It's just an easy path for a victim to have called that number and blame it on the resale shop. The same goes for coming into our resale shop. I meet with victims regularly at either location, depending on the situation. That way, it can appear as though someone's just coming in to utilize our resale spaces and actually are able to connect with me for services and not kind of send off any radars for anyone.
The number for both the hotline and text line is 217-762-2350. You can also visit willowtreemissions.org or find them on Facebook for more information. Again, that phone number is 217-762-2350. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Local sports on the way.
Hey, it's Shane from Highway 51 Exchange, your mower and equipment service pros just south of Clinton. Click our banner ad on DeWittDailyNews.com or give us a call to schedule your free pickup and delivery today. Highway 51 Exchange.
Longview Community Bank is now open in Clinton, investing in rural Illinois. I'm Vice President Nate Sams. Stop by for a visit or to find out how we provide real local banking. Click our banner ad at the top of the local news page on DeWittDailyNews.com.
As neighbor to neighbor and friend to friend, State Bank of B-Mint believes that not what you own, but what you share is what brings the true Christmas spirit. It's the joy that comes from giving that makes life worth living. So all the employees at the State Bank of B-Mint want to wish all their customers and friends a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. They're located in Bement, Cerro Gordo, and Ivesdale. Your bank today, your bank in the future. With all the Christmas bells and carols, laughter and gifts, the full moon and snow, the beauty of the candlelight service, the Clinton Antique Mall in Clinton wishes you a Merry Christmas. And with all these, they point above and remind us that all that Christmas is love. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Clinton Antique Mall in Clinton. Open 10 till 5 daily. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. The Clinton Lady Maroons built up an early lead in the first and held on to it through a second quarter slump to beat the Rochester Lady Rockets by a final score of 48-35 in non-conference high school girls basketball action on Monday night in Clinton. The Lady Maroons controlled the first quarter, building up an 18-3 lead. The Lady Rockets fought back in the second to cut their deficit to 25-16 by halftime. The score was 40-27 by the end of the third. Clinton was led by Lila Kluver, who scored 15 points. Carly Anderson scored 14 points, including a pair of buckets from beyond the arc. Rochester was led by Elena Stock and Aniston Ferris, who each scored 9 points. With the win, Clinton improves to 8-4, while Rochester falls to 5-8. It's off to the Holiday Hoopla tournament in Monticello for the Lady Sages. They will take on the Gibson City Melvin Sibley Lady Falcons at 3:30 p.m. on Friday. The Maroa-Forsyth Trojans led by 23 after 3 quarters and took down the Decatur St. Teresa Bulldogs in non-conference high school boys basketball action on Monday night in Decatur. The Trojans had the lead the whole way, turning a 16-9 first quarter lead into 34-16 by halftime. A big third quarter grew the gap to the biggest of the night, making it 47-24 going into the fourth. Cabrin Lee led all scorers by at least 15, putting up 27 points and shooting 4 for 5 from the charity stripe. Kobe Lane added 12 points, and Luke Smith had 9. With the win, Maroa-Forsyth improves to 5-3, while St. T falls to 3-5. Maroa-Forsyth will play host to Judah Christian tonight at 5:30 p.m. The IHSA has expanded the high school football playoffs starting in the 2026 season. Monticello football coach Coley Welter says he is in the middle when it comes to his feelings on the referendum. He labels himself as a traditionalist, however, has trust in Monticello athletic director Dan Sheehan, who was involved in the process.
Yeah, I'm mixed. Obviously, Mr. Sheehan, Dan Sheehan's been on the ad hoc committee at the IHSA, so he's a prominent part of putting this together, and it was sort of in response to, a lot of the conference realignment and some of the other plans that have been put out there, and he put this together with the help of the ad hoc committee, and I like the plan. I'm a traditionalist at heart, so it's hard to go away from having to earn 5 games to get into the playoffs, but we'll adapt. There's a lot of good things about it. Yeah, not in terms of goals for sure. I mean, we don't want to ever back into the playoffs anyway. Even when it was 5 to get in, we were never happy just getting in at 5-4. So you certainly want to still try to win every game you play and not let this sort of relax your expectations. And from that standpoint, it won't change much. What it'll change is sort of this calendar and the summer schedule and some of the things you have to do because the season moves up a week.
With the added round to the playoffs comes changes to the schedule. Now that the whole season will be backed up a week, Coach Welter says that will force some changes in how and when they practice leading up to week 0.
Yeah, definitely had a chance to evaluate. Haven't put anything in stone right now, but we've always had 2 dead weeks, one during the July 4th week, and now it's mandated, and we always gave our kids the opportunity to come in and make up missed weight room. At that point, they were no longer going to have the ability to do that. Plus, the first week of August was always a mandated dead week, and now it'll probably be, we'll be practicing that week. If we want to find some time, like we've been a 4-week on, 1 week off, 4 week on, 1 week off. So now the biggest question for us is what do we want to do at the end of July going into that first week of August since the kids won't have that break. So that's kind of what we're trying to decide right now. Otherwise, we still get the 20 days. 5 of those will have to be used, or 6 of those have to be used in the first week of August. So it does limit some of the days you have, but we didn't use all our days anyway.
Among other changes includes the possibility of a first-round bye for eligible teams to start the playoffs, as well as video reviews of plays involving suspension or ejection.
And it looks like it'd be somewhere around 7-2. It would be probably the threshold.
Yeah.
But, and that'll change year to year, just like the playoff points and all that stuff, changes as well. But I'm mixed on that as well. The idea of taking a week off with 18-year-old kids is always a little concerning, but at the same time, at that point, if you got some injuries or whatever you want to remedy or get some kids healthy or let them rest a little bit, I think from that standpoint, it's an advantage to those teams. So, but I'm a little bit mixed. I like to play every week. Yeah, I'm mixed. We talked about that earlier. It's such a subjective thing, and it's subjective at the time, and it's going to be subjective after the fact. So as long as there's criteria that they have to follow to see, I would assume it'd have to be pretty obvious for an overturn to happen. Because, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Sure. Coach Welter says he is always thinking of new plays to install with his team, and he is looking forward to kicking off the 2026 season in Week 0 when they travel to Illinois Valley Central. Freshman guard Keaton Wagler made a career-best 5 3-pointers and scored 22 points to lead number 20, Illinois Fighting Illini, to a 91-48 rout of the Missouri Tigers on Monday night. Andrei Stojakovic returned from a first-half injury to score 16 points, and Tomislav Isavic added 14 points as the Fighting Illini, who are now 9-3, rolled to the most lopsided victory in the history of the Braggin Rights rivalry. Sebastian Mack had 17 points off the bench to lead Missouri, who are now 10-3, as Coach Dennis Gates left his reserves in for much of the second half with the game out of hand. After building a 16-point lead at halftime, the Illini poured it on with 2 3-pointers from Isvich in the opening minute of the second half and finally pulled their starters with 2.5 minutes left. Wagler went 5 for 6 from 3-point range and improved to 12 for 18 in the past 3 games. The Illini started to pull away midway through the first half with a run fueled by second-chance points on one end and blocks on the other. Wagler, Ben Hummerkaus, and Jake Davis all hit 3-pointers that followed offensive rebounds during one 4-minute stretch that also featured 3 blocks by Zvonimir Isvich. Anthony Robinson II scored Missouri's first 9 points to keep it close early on, but the Tigers trailed 41-25 by the time he closed the first half by hitting a free throw for his 10th point. He finished with 12. Stojakovic, Illinois' second leading scorer, went to the locker room with 9 minutes left in the first half after appearing to injure his left leg. He returned to the bench before halftime and started for the second half, even driving for a thunderous dunk to make it 63-36 midway through the second half. Missouri opens SEC play at home January 3rd against number 22 Florida. Illinois hosts Southern next Monday. Andre Washington had 24 points in Eastern Illinois' 110-56 victory over East West on Monday. Washington shot 11 of 14 from the field and 2 of 3 from the free throw line for the Panthers, who are now 4-8. Preston Turner scored 18 points while going 7 of 12. Zion Fruster shot 5 for 11 and 4 of 4 from the free throw line to finish with 15 points while adding 6 assists. The Phantoms were led by Devine Conley, who posted 22 points. Jamari Malone added 9 points for East West. Amari Phillips also put up 7 points. Darren Radish had a goal and 2 assists to reach 100 career points, and the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the St. Louis Blues 4-1 on Monday night. Oliver Bjorkstrand had a power play goal for his 400th straight point, and Pontus Holmberg and Anthony Sorelli also scored for Tampa. Nikita Kucherov and Jake Gensel each had 2 assists. Andrei Vasilevsky made 23 saves as the Lightning have won back-to-back games for the first time since the start of December. Justin Falk scored for St. Louis, while Jordan Binnington finished with 13 saves. The Blues were held to 2 or fewer goals for the 21st time in 38 games this season. Holmberg scored 21 seconds into the game, getting a stick on Radish's shot to deflect the puck past Binnington. It tied for the 13th fastest goal to start a game in Lightning franchise history and fastest since Steven Stamkos scored at 20 seconds on March 16, 2024. Radish scored on a power play at 9 minutes and 12 seconds of the first period when his shot at the center point hit Falk and caromed into the net. Falk cut the Lightning lead in half at 6 minutes and 43 seconds of the second, but Sorelli answered that a minute and 18 seconds later, getting a stick from the middle slot on Radish's shot. Radish became the second fastest defenseman in Lightning history to reach 100 career points in his 206th game. Bjorkstrand scored Tampa Bay's second power play goal of the game at 5 minutes and 36 seconds of the third period. St. Louis will host the Nashville Predators on Saturday, while Tampa Bay stays in the state to go to the Florida Panthers on Saturday. Get highlights of your local high school program anytime by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platform, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Finding a local job in Central Illinois has never been easier. Don't waste time driving far or spending too much on gas. Visit IllinoisJobPost.com. It's your one-stop site to find local, full-time, and part-time job openings. Best of all, it's completely free for job seekers to access anytime, day or night. So if you're ready to land a job close to home, make IllinoisJobPost.com your first stop. That's IllinoisJobPost.com. Brought to you by your friends at the regional radio stations.
Ace is the place.